On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered. These towns, think of those words. These towns are being invaded and conquered. What the hell? And nobody disputes me on that. And we will put the vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country as fast as we can.
It is officially over for Donald Trump. I know it. You know it. He knows it. Even his supporters know that his campaign is going down the drain, and that is why today, during Donald Trump campaign stop in North Carolina, his supporters did what they are increasingly doing more often, and that is walk out of his rally in the middle of him speaking, because even MAGA is fed up with Donald Trump and his nonsense. And we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. And we are so close to 50,000 subscribers, just need your support. I am so proud of the community that we are building here, and that we will continue to build. Now let's get into this crazy Trump speech right here.
On hurricane salvage and removal and just the security, what they've done, it's so bad. You know, they spent their...
That is a perfect representation of where the Trump campaign is at right now. Donald Trump trying to push a conspiracy about VP Harris and President Biden response to Hurricane Hen, and he can't even get the words out because he is just crumbling at this point, both physically and mentally in his campaign as well. Donald Trump is falling apart, and so he is trying to push that insecurity on VP Harris, on President Biden, and we see him do it right here.
And you know, right now I'm saying, who the hell's running the country? Nobody even knows. Can you imagine President Xi of China or Putin or anybody they want to call, they say, who the hell's running that country? It's the first time we have a country where we don't even know who is running it. Nobody knows. Let's call the United States. Who do we speak to? Most of them say Donald Trump. Just call Donald Trump. You know? That's what they're saying.
I don't think that world leaders are calling you Donald because they like you more. The only person I would trust to want to call you more, though, is Vladimir Putin. And that doesn't say anything good about you or your campaign, that you continue to have conversations with a dictator whom you love just because he bats his eyelashes at you. And that's all it takes because you're so susceptible to flattery. And speaking of which, Donald Trump took a shot at someone who it seemed like kind of tried to flatter him with an endorsement. Maybe not. It's a rocky relationship you'll see in this clip right here.
Dollars. Hopefully we get rid of Mitch McConnell pretty soon because he helped him. That guy. Can you believe he endorsed me? Can you? Boy, that must have been a painful day in his life. Every time I think of it, he didn't have to do that. He provided the necessary votes. What a disgrace.
The Donald Trump-Mitch McConnell civil war makes me so happy. Two of the worst people in American history absolutely hating each other really makes my heart warm, considering neither of them have hearts. But wouldn't we love to both humiliate Donald Trump and horrify Mitch McConnell by defeating Donald Trump and keeping control of the Senate and make them both even angrier with each other and with themselves? That sounds like a beautiful outcome to me. That sounds like music to my ears, but what didn't sound good to the Trump crowd at this rally was his confused tariff rambling, as we can see right here.
The president has the right to impose the tariffs on these countries that have been hurting us. They've really been hurting us. It's so ridiculous. They end up closing, everybody loses their job, then they make it in their country, and then they send it back to us with no tax, no nothing. And we lose it. We lose the company, we lose the jobs, we lose sort of everything, and it's so stupid. And all we have to do is the same thing, but we have a big advantage because we have the pot of gold. See, ours is really the pot of gold. Ours is the one that they want, but we won't have that pot of gold very long because the way these fools are running our country, we're going to be a busted country pretty soon.
He truly does not know what he's talking about. He is falling apart. He is out of control. He's just rambling. Did you hear how quiet the crowd was? How bored the people behind him clearly are. And that continues as Donald Trump just starts slurring his speech, unable to really get a word out in this clip right here.
It just came out. Nearly 100,000 manufacturing jobs were wiped out from the beginning of the year. Those are the really primo jobs. 150,000 Americans joined the unemployment rolls in October, and nearly 250,000 250,000 people dropped out of the labor force. That's like a depression. Just think, a few months ago, they fraudulently claimed, and it was a fraud, they claimed, this is a serious fraud, that they had 818,000 jobs were created in the country, and none were created, zero. You know about that, right?
They are just so tired. They're fed up. They're bored. It's why in just a second we are going to check out Trump supporters leaving, and Donald Trump being so furious because of it. They are tired. They're fed up. Like Tim Walz continues to say, aren't we so excited for the day where we just don't have to hear his voice? And it's not just, like I said, Democrats and independent, but Republicans as well, and some Republican Senate candidates, because check out when Donald Trump said right here.
And you have one of the best of all right here. David McCormick, you know that. Where's David? Is he around someplace?
Donald, I don't think getting out votes for David McCormick in North Carolina is really going to help him in Pennsylvania. But once again, it just shows how confused and out of it Donald Trump is. This is the guy who we want in the Oval Office, the oldest person to ever run for president. Someone who is already in cognitive decline and unfit before he was even old. No, absolutely not. That's why we're not going back. And that's why Trump supporters are leaving as well.
Followed that sucker storm, I followed it. But then I said, I'm going to let them just get this. I figured people would do a good job. They did a horrible job under the auspices of these two people. I got to say these two people, but, and right now
I do not blame MAGA an absolute snooze fest at the Trump rally. I would leave early. Actually, I wouldn't leave early. I would never be there. I don't know who would want to be at a Trump rally, a rally that I would like to be at. Though is the speech President Obama was giving today. Ripping into Donald Trump, you are absolutely going to love this. Let's take a look.
The point is, Donald Trump is not thinking about you. His entire campaign, just like his entire presidency, has always been based on him. It's about him, his status, his money, his ego, his grievances, his insecurities. He wants the middle class to pay the price for another huge tax cut that would mostly help him and his buddies. He doesn't care if he costs more women their reproductive freedom, because apparently he doesn't think that it's going to affect him. It won't make a difference in his life. But most of all, Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them, between real Americans, quote unquote, who support him, of course, and outsiders who don't. Because he thinks that having America divided, having people angry and resentful, will increase his chances to get elected. It's as simple as that. And I'm here to tell you, Milwaukee, we do not need another 4 years of Trump's arrogance and incompetence and division. America's better than that. America's ready to turn the page. America's ready for a new story, a better story. We are ready for a president, Kamala Harris.
No one can deliver a speech like President Obama can, and he did not stop there, because of course he is delivering VP Harris' message, her agenda. But he's also talking about the attacks that Donald Trump attempts to make on his agenda, the policy record of President Obama, mainly the ACA. And so President Obama went off on Donald Trump and Mike Johnson on this clip right here.
Now let's talk about health care. If you ask Donald Trump what he's going to do to make health care more affordable, he's got one answer, and that is repeal the Affordable Care Act. And he's not by himself. The other day, the Speaker of the House, the Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, said there would be, quote, no Obamacare if Trump wins. Now, do not boo. Vote. Now, neither of them can really explain why they want to end it, except for the fact that I did it. The problem they have is, guess what? The Affordable Care Act works. Almost 50 million people have gotten health care because of it. Another 50 million have the security of knowing insurance companies can't deny them coverage because of a pre-existing condition. The more people benefit, the more popular it has become. Which is why a couple weeks ago, some of y'all saw this, Trump's running mate, Mr. Vance, do not boo, vote. Mr. Vance had the nerve to say Donald Trump, quote, salvaged the Affordable Care Act. What? What? Donald Trump spent his entire presidency trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act, trying to tear it down, and he couldn't even do that right. And now, 8 years after he was elected, he was asked, well, if you did repeal it, what would you replace it with? And he looked, and he kind of fumbled around, and they said, well, I've got concepts of a plan for how to replace it. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. Let's say your boss gives you an assignment, says, I need it by Friday. Friday rolls around. Your boss comes up to you, says, did you finish that project for me? And you say, well, actually, I haven't started, but I do have a concept of a plan. Or you could try it at home. Honey, did you do the dishes? You throw out the trash? I've been watching this football game, but I do have a concept of a plan to do the dishes. How's that going over? You're on the couch. If it would not work for you, why should it work for the President of the United States? It shouldn't.
We have a chance to move forward. We have a chance to prevent Donald Trump from continuing to attack our democracy, attack our institutions. And all we got to do is turn out and vote, as you may see. Right here, I voted today. I am so excited that I got to cast my ballot for VP Harris, for Tim Walz, for progress, for moving forward, for not going back, and I hope you did as well. And if you did, let me know in the comments. And if you want to support this show, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around at the end, let me know if you voted in the comment, but also drop a blue heart. And until next time, I'll see you soon.